Well, we are here
Huh.
between two biomes. We are recording, and you guys have no idea what we've been dealing with. We've had 10 false starts. Sorry, I get it's not funny if you weren't there, but we're going, Mashie. This is
It,
it. It's
it's
recording.
not funny. It's not funny. And I was there.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So,
Now we're not seeing us on the screen. I'm not seeing your video.
oh, you know something? I have to do that. So let me you talk and entertain and
Okay.
I'll tap
Well,
dance and get the video up here.
get the video up in front. Exactly. So welcome back. We are back. I don't. This is episode. What episode is this? Eight or
It
nine?
could be 8, it could be
I think
9.
it's 8 or 9. Anyway, we're recording on a Friday afternoon. Again, because we know some of you guys like to grab a cup of coffee and enjoy your Saturday morning entertainment with your coffee with us. So our goal is to get this recorded and posted tonight so you guys can watch it tomorrow. There he is. I see my friend up there.
Yeah, and now I'm not sharing it. So keep talking because I'm
Okay.
adjusting.
That's all good. That's all good. So we have a whole bunch of courses that got released over the last week,
There we
just like
go.
there we are,
There we go.
over the last week that we'll go through today. And as always, we have picked up a handful of them to go into more detail on. Not all of them. But let's do our normal beginning of the show chit chat and cocktail review.
All right. Well, I already had a beer. I finished it because I was drinking
Hence
beer
the
trying to figure
technical
out our technical
problems.
problems. So I already blew through my beer. So we won't worry about the beer, but I'll talk about my bourbon, my whiskey.
Oh, I'm interested. I'm interested.
You're gonna get a kick out of
I
this
mean,
one.
I am. I
So,
am.
so I discovered this process. Have you ever seen these things? Now
I
it
have not.
says barrel aged in a bottle.
Uh-huh. I see
Okay, it might
that.
be backwards for everybody, but it's an oak stave in there. Okay, it's like
Huh.
this swirly thing, and it's like a
Mm.
charred oak piece of oak. And what I've done is I take that and I put it in a bottle of shitty bourbon. This is Bankers Club Handle, which is like $15. It comes in a plastic bottle. And after 4 weeks, dude, it is good stuff. So
There are
that's what I'm.
so many questions that this leads me to go down,
I tell
and
you, you have to try this. I like, and I have a friend of mine who works for Jim Beam. Okay, was
okay,
literally here 3 weeks ago. He actually lives out in Chicago, and
okay,
I told him this, and he said he was calling bullshit. We did a taste test of 4 different bourbons. Okay,
yeah,
3 good
yeah,
ones and my
yeah.
altered one here, and there was 8 guys. All of them had it in their top 2.
Really?
Yes, they all had it in
Okay,
their top 2.
bourbon in a bottle. It's called bourbon in a bottle. What's it called? Bourbon in a bottle?
Uh, Barrel aged in a bottle. And
Barrel aged in a
and you
bottle. Okay,
just take the thing out, throw it in the bottle, let it sit for about 4 weeks, and it just smooths it out. Now,
I'm jumping on Amazon right now.
all right, yeah, they're on Amazon. They're like $8 for 4 of them or something like that. And then I'll do my.
And then you smoke. I've got a smoker like that. I do like the smoke. Oh yeah, big fan of the smoked
If I don't
bourbons.
burn my beard here, right?
Yeah, please don't. And your fingers and
Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah,
I
so
like
that's
that.
that's what I'm drinking tonight. Um,
Nice,
and I do need a
nice.
drink. So what about you? What you got going on?
I am continuing. I mean, after 8 episodes, you guys will be happy to know I'm still continuing with an eighth different small batch bourbon.
Jeez, that's some
Um,
talent. I mean, I'd like to see. I wanted you to do a show in front of your liquor cabinet one of these
I will
days.
bring a screenshot of the liquor cabinet and the wine. We built a wine rack in the cellar that is a very interesting thing to look at, even though I don't drink that much wine anymore. And so this is another local Denver. This is one of my all-time favorites. It's called Laws, Laws. Not only is it just an absolute, my background is screwing this up. So let me see if I can remove my background real quick.
It's
Let's.
transparent. It's transparent, Bert. It's white.
There we go.
It's
My
clear.
background.
It's clear.
Oh, it didn't change it. Oh well, let's
Uh,
see if I do one more time.
Move it in front of
Let's go
you. Move it
none.
right in front
Change.
of your face. I bet it'll work.
There we go.
Oh yeah,
So not only is it a kick-ass looking bottle,
it's pretty
just a
cool.
really cool glass bottle. This is a 4 grain casket strength. They have many different ones
Yeah.
local here, so they're so good. Just really, really
So
yummy.
you and I are definitely on different sides of the spectrum tonight. I've got my
Yeah.
1.5 liter plastic bottle, and you have your very bougie.
Yeah, this one is not. I mean, this one's not a cheap one. This one can go up to 100 and something a bottle. This one's not the 100 something a
Yeah.
bottle. This one's the one right
The,
below that
the
one.
reason that
So,
this became popular, actually, Pennsylvania is still state-run liquor stores, and during the pandemic, and maybe this was other places too, bourbon really felt like it was hard to get a decent bottle of bourbon. So I
mm.
found someone on TikTok who recommended this, and I've been doing it ever since, actually. So
So I'm gonna change gears here for a second, since we're drinking and we're chit chatting here. I gotta tell you, so we need Steve, our producer. Steve, can you cue the confession music for us? Maybe cue up some downward spiral music. So
oh
I,
boy.
I like to share. I like to share with you and our listeners. So apparently, after our last episode, I learned that I apparently have a voice for silent movies.
I thought your
I,
voice is really good, actually.
I have
So
I apparently do not have a voice for this. Okay, so in the Discord, so I took the comments and I quickly drank a lot of bourbon, and I've spent a week wallowing and going down
oh
into a
no,
downward
oh
spiral
no,
depression,
oh
and
no.
I almost quit 3 times and thought you'd find a new co-host that's got a better voice, and instead I decided to work on a new voice.
Oh, here
So
we go.
I will now speak in a very deep and slow tone
Yeah,
that is more okay, I can't do that.
yeah.
So
That's worse. Don't do it.
it is worse. It is worse. So I'm kidding. I really didn't go into a downward spiral, but I thought it was kind of funny, some of the feedback that we got.
Oh,
And
someone told
love
me
it,
that my tutorials that it's ASMR, and I hate ASMR. So when someone told me that, then I thought I had a horrible voice. So, ugh. Do you know what
It is
ASMR
what
is?
it
Do you
is.
know the it's like this people talk in the microphones and make sounds in the microphones, and
Oh
some people
yeah,
found
yeah,
it
yeah,
very
yeah,
soothing.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
not this guy.
yeah.
I hate it.
No,
It drives me
he hate
insane.
no.
Makes my hair stand up. My what little hair I have, it makes it stand up.
So I'm in a better place now. I've learned
Good.
to accept who I am. My voice is my voice, and screw it, y'all are stuck with me. So too bad.
Well, I love you, man. I love you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
I'm gonna
See,
drink.
somebody
I'm gonna
does.
drink to your voice.
Cheers. Thank you.
Hmm.
What's new with you? Anything exciting?
Um, no, I mean, I had some personal things going on this week. We shared those earlier. I'm not gonna, bring them up on the show
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Family related stuff.
Yep.
It happens. Your parents get older, things happen, right?
Yep. For
Um,
sure.
but no deaths. Let me just put that, no
Good.
deaths. So all good
Correct.
from that
Correct.
perspective. I think you were talking earlier about lessons you had, and I've, I'm a newer golfer, 2 years, and I've been taking lessons from Shanky, and
Yep.
boy, this has probably been one of the biggest up and down couple weeks I've had as far as my golf game goes, which is I had a lesson with Shanky, and I'm an over the top swinger, so really trying to get through the slot. And
Yep.
I've been getting a feel for it, but of course it takes some adjustments. And then I played one round. I actually played outside and stopped keeping my score after 8 holes.
Oh,
It was
really?
that bad. Yeah,
Oh, one of those days.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I came inside and we had my indoor league and I completely crushed it. I shot two
See?
under par,
Look
right?
at you.
Which I know
Someone
it's
is.
indoor sim golf, but still. Um, and then the next day, working by myself, I couldn't hit a freaking. I'm shanking it all over the place again. And then the next day, I'm shaping the ball again. I realize why people love and hate this sport so much.
It's the consistency is the hardest thing. I mean, I've been playing for a long time and can absolutely relate to that. Now, about 5 years ago, I was completely fed up with my swing. I was like, I could score okay. I was about a 7 handicap, but I felt like after I played 18 holes, I just felt beat up. I was done. It would take me a day of recovery just to after I played 18 holes.
Like physically or mentally?
Like physically, like I was physically like exhausted. My body was exhausted, and like the next, I would actually pop a whole bunch of Advil because I would wake up in the middle of the night with like pains in my legs and my hips, and so I went to a local instructor here about 5 years ago, and at my local course, and decided I want to get some lessons, and it's a woman. She's a fantastic coach, and she said, she said, let's do a quick assessment. So we did about a 90-minute assessment, and she was like, hey, we can do some small things, or we can do some big things. What do you want to do? And I'm never one to shy away from a challenge. So I'm like, let's do the big things. Let's go. How bad can it be? Right.
Right.
5 years later, I'm still in the process of taking these big changes that we've done. Now, I will tell you, I can play 36 in a day and I feel
Yeah.
great. I have no problems. I play a lot more. Part of my problem was, like you, I was coming way over the top. Matter of fact, for those you golf nerds out there, we're all sim golfers, so we have all of our numbers. I was 22 degrees out to in,
I thought that was bad.
and my club face was 22 degrees open.
Holy shit, that's like banana, right?
Except occasionally those line up and I've got a really long, far straight shot. But that's like 1 out of every 50 shots, right? Now I'm happy to say I am in to out 3 degrees, between 1 and 3 degrees. And my club face is anywhere from, I mean, I control my club face now in a different way. So
Yeah.
it's much easier on the body versus big swing up top. So I had a
Yeah.
lesson, like you, I had a lesson last week and I walked away from the lesson. I was striping everything. I had 3 rounds in a row in the sim that were 68 or under.
Damn.
Like back to back to 3 days in a row, back to back.
Damn.
And then I went, yeah, pretty strong. And then I went out and
I don't know if I can
played.
associate with you again. I think I'm just gonna have to back
Yeah,
away.
you can. Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. Because then I went out on my 4th round in the sim on the 4th day and shot an 87. And like I was like, so I'm back to figure out what the hell am I doing wrong, and gotta go get my coach and have her. And she always tweaks one little thing, and then it's fine again. But it's so up or down on this silly game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I hear you. Well, enough about us, right?
Yep.
People
Let's go.
people didn't come here to hear about our woes. They came here to hear about our drinking problems. And
let's go. We got
some courses, right? So what happened this week?
17 courses launched.
No, we didn't get 17 this week. It's actually a little bit more manageable this week, but one did get released right before we were about ready to start the show. And we're like, no, sorry, it's gonna have to wait till next week. So there's one that was released. It is Friday, so there were 3 released today. There were 2 earlier and 1 later, right?
Yep.
So first of all, we got Ashburn Golf Club, the old course. I don't know how old that is, but Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. Jay Jixarod 3.
Yep. He's been around.
Yeah, he's been around. He's got a few courses out there. I've got Auburn Golf Course in Auburn, Washington, by Mike Rogers, who
Hold on, I wrote down his name.
Would you like to be
down his Discord name?
Would you like to be my neighbor, Mr. Rogers? No, it's Grit City Dog.
Grit City Dog. Yeah.
So I don't know if he's going to go by Mike Rogers or he's going to go by Grit City Dog, but he's Grit City Dog on Discord.
Please go by Grit City Dog. It is an amazing Discord name. Right? I just love that. Yeah.
Yeah, he should go by that. Mike Rogers is, it definitely sounds like he should be doing a children's show. Deacon's Lodge Golf Club by Pakman. That's a solid one. We'll talk a little bit more about that.
We'll talk about that one.
Pelton Falls by our man, Rudd Punrud.
Listen, we're not going to go into detail, deep on this one. We run. We went to a bunch of his last week and the week before. I think the week before. He always has, not for any other reason than there's just some other ones we wanted to go through today. I do want to call out, this is a cool course. Okay, this is a really cool course. This is a fantasy course, and and he carved the entire thing from a blank slate. He did all hand terrain carving. The terrain, everything. Yeah, nice. He did all of it from scratch. I played through this one both in the sim and mouse. It's a fun course to play.
I haven't played it. I opened it up, and then I do have to apologize to him because now when I opened it up, I realized he had asked me for some waterfall help, and he hit me up in the middle of my golf league, and I said I'll get back to you. And of course, by the next day, I already had like 10 other DMs from other people, and
you blew him off.
So I am sorry.
You just blew off Ron. Of all the people to blow off, you can't blow off Ron.
I was a little overwhelmed this week, so I'm sorry. I owe you some waterfall settings.
Great course, though. You guys will love it.
Yep. Hillside Golf Club by Mr. Is it Grapple Farmer or Grape Farmer or Grape L Farmer?
Grape farmer, grape.
Grape.
I'm just calling him grape.
Grape, purple grape.
Isn't technically a grape farmer a winemaker?
No, because
No, I guess
you can
no. I
make
guess you can make
raisins.
grapes from
You could be a
grocery store. You can
raisin
make
person.
raisins. You can be a raisin. Yeah. Okay.
St. Ives Golf Club by Bomber Golf Studios. Now I know this is friend Bomber behind the scenes, right? And I think he was a big TGA guy. Or, I'm
I think
sorry,
so.
TGC, TGA. What's I
TGC,
just
not
combined
TGA.
PGA and TGC. All what
TGC.
the hell is that about, right? Jeez.
More bourbon.
All right, you talk, I'll drink.
And our last course by another good friend of the show, Tekbud, Fisher Island. We're going to talk about this one a little more in depth too.
Yeah,
This is a cool course.
yeah. So Ashburn, I want to touch on Ashburn. So some people when they turn a course on, they open up the scorecard here and they say, "Oh, 5,200. That's my course right there. That's my speed." Because I can hit the ball long, but if I don't have to, and I can actually get some confidence by playing these shorter courses. So I wanted to dig into this one. So I looked at this course, opened it up, and immediately realized that he put a lot of detail into this. Off
Oh
to the
yeah.
left here, he got I think it's a custom clubhouse because I don't recognize it from anything else. Cool thing, and I like what you did with the flower beds there on the left
Flower
because
planters look great.
I got
Yep.
to I got to do the same thing on Kapalua.
Yep.
So respect there. It's not easy. A lot of persistent planting with that in GSPro. Um, Now I had a little bit of a difference in opinion than you on the grass here. You like the kind of speckled,
I
little
do.
textured there. I'm not. I like to see it blend a little bit more, but again, it's personal preference, right? Total
Yeah,
coconut.
I think it's there's that bearded look that you can get when you have too much. I think
Yeah,
he's on the edge of that. I think it could
yeah,
be a toned down a little bit, not toned up, but I'm fine with where it
yeah.
is. I kind of like it.
There were a couple trees I feel here that the saturation just could be toned down, and maybe these reds were a little too much red or dark. But I don't know. Again,
You know,
I'm
it's
getting really nitpicky here because I did think it was a really solid course.
it's a great course.
Um, Nothing. So a couple things I'd like if you'd like to try, and these are things that I might try in my current course, and especially this is also something that's going to worry me a little bit with V4. So when V4 comes out, it's going to be very easy to add mow lines like everywhere.
Yep.
But
Yep.
one thing that you might, I think, would add detail to any course would be see these trees, the mow lines go through the trees. So go back, if you think about it, if you go back to your sat shader and just blur around the bottom of those trees, it might make it look a little bit more realistic, like the mower had to go around the trees and not through them. Um, then very minor, in my opinion. And a trick that I learned also is the bottom of the trees, go into persistent planting and just drop a blade of grass at the bottom of there, like
Mm-hmm.
a taller, like the
Mm-hmm.
taller,
Just a poof of.
and it'll make it not look quite as flat here.
Yep.
But this is really because I thought the course I like really. If you look over here on the right hand side, the overlay here is really cool looking. I like
Yeah.
how he didn't go crazy with the browns.
Yep.
Um, What's also very impressive here is when I went up in the air and I looked out, two things. One is the amount of detail that he went so far out. He put houses and the whole freaking neighborhood out there. He had lines on the roads going through the city. I felt like I could go into a first person shooter here and just go exploring looking for stuff, right? That's really cool. Um, I just like going and exploring like this. So well done there. I know you put a lot of time into that, so I applaud you.
I
Um,
assume it's all being seen from the course. I mean, just keep in mind if
yeah,
it's not seen
I
from the
don't know.
course, it's extra
Yeah,
tries. I don't know.
I was kind of the way. When my first few courses when I built them, I did way too much detail, and I still
I
probably
like it
do.
though. I
But
think
yeah,
it's
I
I'm a
like
big
it.
fan of yeah.
I'm also very impressed here. First thing I look for in a course is also how well the billboards are. I can't tell where they start here.
This is so good. The billboarding on this is probably some of the best I've seen.
Yeah,
So JG, really, really well done on that. That's awesome.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Because it's to me as a designer, it's distracting when I look out and it looks like a completely different biome is out in the distance. I really can't tell where the billboards start here. So
Yeah, great.
fantastic. Um, like the cart path, I like that you didn't go light. Some people use that white concrete, which is
Yep,
big contrast. So I think you picked a really cool texture here.
agreed.
Um, and the grass, this is where we disagree. I thought like your dark blades here could be lightened a tad. Jason, Mashie, you disagree here.
I like texture in the grass. I mean, now
Yeah,
I understand exactly what you're saying, and neither one of us is right or wrong.
yeah.
This comes down to personal preference, what you're going for. I think
It probably looks like the course too, maybe in general. So
I feel like it's got really good depth having those darker blades,
yeah,
personally.
yeah.
But that's just my own opinion.
So this was another shot. Well, first of all, beautiful looking hole here, right? I
Yeah,
love.
yeah.
I think it was another place. The parking lot, the cars out there. It just nothing stands
Well, and
out here.
I think when I remember playing through this one, I think on number 1, it was in one of the other screenshots you saw from a different angle.
Yes,
Like, I think the driving range has the fence up on the whole
yes,
way down the edge, and then it felt like I was at the course, and like you would normally expect, and you would see the driving range with a fence. I loved it. I thought the detail was
yeah.
fantastic.
So one thing I would recommend that he does though, and I think what he did. So look here, and for the most people, you're not going to notice this, but the reflection on this pond is pretty good, right? I see the
Yeah.
red tree, I see the green trees
Yep.
on the right, and it's open in the middle. And you see, I think it's the top edge of the building back there. You see,
Yep.
this looks fine. But if I go down, so if I'm on the tee box now, but if I go down, if I shanked a shot, this is where I ended up. This is the perfect reflection here, but no one sees it from here. So what I would say is when you do your reflection probe, do it from the place where the golfer is going to be most common at that spot, right?
Maybe most of the people he plays with shank off the tee.
Well, that's how do you think I ended up down
Maybe
here?
maybe that's how you ended up down there. Exactly.
Um, and also what I thought was really cool when I was down here was that now this isn't most, this is just a screen capture, but the water here,
Yeah.
he somehow made it, and I haven't figured out how he did this. It ripples over the rocks at that spot. It's flat, and then it ripples down there. And I wanted to do that in Glacier Golf, and I couldn't quite figure it out. So he
Hmm.
somehow, it was really cool. I was like, wow, it's like it was really realistic looking. So that
That
was well done.
ram water?
It's got to be. I don't know what else water,
Gotta be.
but he got it to actually like pop up down here and like ripple high, and it was like pretty
That's
cool,
cool.
pretty cool. I liked it. And then just we like the custom flag. That's a good touch.
Yep. Yep.
The golf carts there, clubhouse here, just really good touch. The clock, I think that's a Justin asset or someone had posted. It's something I always forget that we have, but it just
Yep.
fits in nice. Well, it fits the theme of everything here. I've let that old
Thumbs
course.
up, JG. Nice,
Yeah.
nice done. Nicely done on that course.
Yep. And then we've got Deacon's Lodge. This is a Pac-Man course, so whenever he releases a course, you got to give it a serious look. Now, this one's a little long for me, so I have to go. I'm like that 6,000 yards is more my pace here. It's an Arnold Palmer course, so it's going to be a solid course out in Minnesota. Um, and notice I took down the GUI for this because you just want to take it in, right? So
It's so
standing off
good.
the first tee, um, the colors are good, very natural. The grasses are good, so this is the first shot of the first tee box. Now,
There's something about a Pac-Man course that they have. I find it interesting. They have a very unique look to them.
they do.
I don't know whether it's the way he does his clone stamp on his sat shader or the way the assets he chooses to use, but I can always tell a Pac-Man, and they always look great. Don't get me wrong, but you
Yeah,
always say that's a Pac-Man course. I
yeah.
like it.
Now, as I was flying around, so I didn't take many whole screenshots because I'd have more fun kind of moving around, see how we did some stuff. So I found this
Mm-hmm.
pond. It's actually a pretty big pond. And not only did it looks like your kind of typical like dirty algae
Grungy
pond.
kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I was kind of curious what he did here. Now, Mashie, like when you look at that pond, so first of all, what I really like is how the greens in the grass area kind of match the kind of it blends really
Yep.
well, right?
Yep.
Um, so how do you think he did that layer on the top of the water?
Without being in GSPro and going down close, from the screenshot, it looks like it's the sat shader that's left, like there are trees or something from a sat shader underneath a transparent water
Yeah,
layer, but that's
yeah.
just a guess.
So it's just really shallow water, and that's the texture from the bottom coming up through.
Yeah, so I'm right. It's the texture from the
Yeah,
satellite shader.
yeah.
That's
Well, I
awesome.
don't. Yeah, I'm
I
not
love
sure.
it.
But it looks like algae, right? Does it look
Yeah,
like algae to you?
well, it does. My
I'm not sure
guess
what
is
look he was going for, but that's the look I think, and I like it. It's cool.
My guess is it's probably the satellite view of the tree cover, right? Over the but there's no trees here, so
No.
that wouldn't make sense. Yeah, maybe it's just grungy water. I love it.
Yeah, it looks like, and to me, it makes it look like there's a film of algae on the top of it.
It
But
does. I think it's great.
yeah. Grasses here look fantastic. Performance of the course was really good, and it's because Pakman knows what he's doing when it comes to rendering his grasses. So you'll see here, like up front where my mouse, hopefully you're seeing my mouse, along the
Yep.
bottom, the front edge here, how full this grass looks. And if your ball drops in the middle here, it's still
It'll be just
full,
as full.
right? Because he does a good job of rendering his grasses at different distances. Okay. Don't render all your grasses at the same distance because you're going to get that popping effect as you go out.
Yep.
All of a sudden, all your grasses appear. So if you stagger some of them at different distances, it'll fill in as you go and give help with performance, first of all, but also allow things to look full up front, save performance, but you don't need as much fullness out here because it's so far away. So
I learned that trick from Stinger Eye. He gave me that same about several courses ago about not only layering like you're talking about, but you can take the exact same grass and put it in multiple times.
yep,
Okay. And then you can scale the density higher so you don't have as many of them, but it's going to look as full because you've got multiple assets in there. And then you layer different heights of the same grass and then you layer them out that way. So you're layering high, you're layering wide, you're layering deep,
yep,
but you're not impacting performance negatively.
yep. So I love it. Just like a touch of brown in here in these bushes too is perfect. Never
They
been
look
in,
like nature manufacture assets to me,
yeah, most
and
likely,
they're
yeah, a lot
good.
of people
They're
are
just
using
good.
those. Yep, just looks nice. I like it. Just another shot because I thought it looked good. Oh, and one thing I liked here is just the cart path.
Cart path, yeah,
Just how
yeah.
worn it looks. Um, just really liked it. And the tree in the middle of this in the bunker is, I'm sure it exists in real life. And it's not something I would ever think about doing, but it looks good. You know,
When I saw this in the course, like I was cursing the tree in the middle of the bunker,
and
and every time I see the screenshot, I continue to curse the tree in the middle of the bunker.
and I should have zoomed in here. Now that I look at this, I think it's
There's
probably
grass under it.
grass. I don't know if it's grass, but from here it looks like leaves. You know,
Mm.
um, I'm sure it's not leaves. It's probably grass, but good effect either way. So then Auburn. I think this is one you looked at,
Auburn.
right?
Yeah, I put Auburn in here. Like, listen, this is Mike Rogers' course, or sorry, I should say,
Grit City
Grit
Dog.
City
Grit
Dog.
City Dog.
And I think this is his first course, which is why I wanted to put it in here and look at it. It's a good course. The course is good. I played through all 18. It plays really well. It is not long at all. I mean, Master, this has your name written all over it, 6,100. You can be on the back tips at 6,100.
Yeah, make me feel like a
And feel
man.
like exactly. I don't know, in all honesty, what the slope of DDD is.
I know what it
I
is in real life when they're talking about women.
well, not even gonna go there. So I don't know what that is. So maybe that's an oversight, and I would love a little more explanation of the course myself. Like
I got
one of
Valentine's
the
Day on
best
my
public
mind still.
courses. Well, and I'll give you a real example. Like our guy's golf trip this year is in Seattle. Maybe this is a course I should be putting on the list to go, but I couldn't tell from the description here, so I got to go look it
Yeah.
up. But overall, great course. We'll go through some screenshots or some things I do like about it, and some things like if you're going to do an update, you may want to consider. I took a shot. I took the interface off from hole one, kind of following Masta's lead on, kind of an opening tee shot. I just thought it was really pretty. It was really well done. A good sat shader. Nice trees. They're good. They're full. Different colors and variations on the trees. And overall, it was just a good feel from the tee here. You want to go to the next,
Yeah,
or you have any
when I
comments
looked
yet?
at this course, the one thing, this tree right here, the just
The
lighten
trunk
up
is
the
dark.
bark a little bit. Yeah, just shade it down, drag
Yep.
that shader down just a tad.
Yep. Billboards. Go get a lesson from JG on how to do billboards. You can see the line, delineate a line between where your billboards are and where they are not, and
Yep.
so
So when you
don't need to.
stand on the course and you look down at the fairway, it looks like you're looking at a completely different, set of
Yep.
trees. Yep.
Yeah. So that's all. It's a minor tweak. Doesn't take long. So when you do an update,
And
I would.
do them all individually. Like load one tree up, you change the
Yep.
render distance, and
Yep.
you can actually put two trees side by side, one
Side by
that's
side.
rendered and one that's not, and adjust your billboard colors and all
Yep.
that stuff. Yep.
Yep. Exactly. One thing I did notice, and I think this was by hole number 9, if I remember correctly. It's up near the clubhouse. There's water right by the clubhouse there. There's a couple things on this grass, just for again future for you to look at. One is it looks like you might have scaled up the grass a little bit in VS Pro, maybe scaled it to 2x2x2 versus the 1x1x1. And it might be, it looks a little bit like it's floating. It looks a little like it's almost gone a little bit too big on the scale for the type of grass that it is. And so it looks like it's floating. It's also, it's weird, and this has nothing to do with you or your course. It's just the way it's planted inside the water. The grass is physically moving left and right, not waving in the wind. It's physically moving with the water left and right. So you may want to take a peek at that. I don't know if it's, I don't think there's anything you can do about it. I think there's maybe just grass sitting in the water. The second thing on this one is, and we were talking about this before the show, you can see how on the back side of the grass it's really dark green, on the front side it's more yellow. You just, the two different settings for dry and healthy colors in your VS Pro, you may want to tighten those up a little bit, make it a little better blend between the healthy and the dead, so it doesn't quite stand out as much. Little high saturation on that back one, but pretty minor, pretty easy tweaks too, by the way.
Yep. St.
Okay.
Ives. Isn't there like
I
St.
want to.
Ives? I think my wife has St. Ives body wash in her bathroom or something
I
like that.
don't think this is the same St. I have to go back and double check. I don't think this is the same.
Okay. All right. I'll trust you on that one. All right.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
I got to tell you, I always look for the courses. I look at courses in a couple different ways. I look at courses from a golfer lens, like what's a fun course to play? Is
And
it
you
challenging?
do a much better job at that than I do.
Well, thank you. You know what? Like I know a course when it comes up that I'm like, Run Putt Run is never going to play this course, right? Or
I know that.
like,
well, I know that.
and I'll be honest with you, like this week's SGT, I know it's an older course, couldn't stand it. There's nothing about the course from a golfer perspective that I liked. Okay.
Yeah.
This one, I stood up there on the tee box. Let me rephrase this. I loaded it on the computer, played a few holes, and immediately went down and loaded it in the sim and played 18 in the sim on this one, and really enjoyed this. This was a fun course to play from a golf perspective. We'll show some of that. Great. Yeah, it's not a long course. 6,500 is the longest on here. So you tips players who want like 8,000 yards, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no TPC Colorado at 7,900 yards from the tips. But really good distribution between the different tee boxes, so you can play at almost any level except for the super long ones.
As my wife would say, length is overrated.
Agreed. Mine says the same.
All right.
This,
you
got me on that one.
You have no idea. I broke your train of thought now.
I end the show. We're done. I want to talk about this hole from two angles, from two perspectives. Okay, I'm going to do this from a golf perspective first. And I'm going to do it from a designer perspective. From a golf perspective, just look at the mini map. If you look over there where the 231 landing area is, over to the right, there's a landing area at 231, then another landing area, and then the green up there. It is almost a double dog leg left. I will tell you this, the first time on a GSPro course that I've stood on top of the hole and said, I don't know where the hell I'm hitting the ball. And I thought it was a blast. It was so much fun. And I hit one. And do you see where the out of bounds marker is? Where there's a cart barn over there, kind of on the off to the right,
off
past
to the
the 231.
Right.
Right there. I ended up in there going, oops, why did I go over there? Out of bounds, that kind of stuff. So it was fun. This was a really fun course. From a designer perspective, I thought they did a really great job on the colors. It felt, my first glance was it felt like it might have been even a little oversaturated in the trees. Like some of the trees are pretty green.
Yeah.
But then I kind of felt like the whole course is a little bit like that. Maybe it's up in northern Michigan, I believe. So it's pretty green up there anyway. So I just kind of went with it. Thought it was good. Couple small things we'll talk about that are pretty easy to tweak around 3D grass and matching it to the floor. But overall, I thought it was a really surprisingly, I didn't know what to expect. So I thought it was a surprisingly good course.
I was looking at this hazard over here. Like there's like this island in the middle of it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I didn't go over there up close, so I didn't see. Let's go to the next. You'll see custom tee markers. We'll talk about that in a second. Another, again, from a golf perspective, this was a beautiful hole. This is number 2. And the bridge, thank you for lining it up to your cart path. It wasn't sitting off at a funky angle. It just, you got a really pretty not a waste area, but a area of junk in front of the tee. You got to carry all the way to the tee. It was a really fun hole to play, and I felt like, hey, I got to be accurate on my shot. If I'm short, I'm in trouble. If I'm left or long, I'm in trouble.
Wait, this
And
is the
so it was.
first course?
I think
No.
this might be second.
Okay. Never mind.
But really, really well done.
Yeah, because curving a bridge like that is not easy. It's got to be done in Blender, and you got to take some of the
Yeah.
points in that. So it looks really good.
Yeah,
Like
it
it.
looked really good. And then I pulled a few. Keep going. So, couple things you may want to look at. Your 3DG is not set for satellite 3DG, even though you've got a sat shader. So you notice that the floor color is one color, and your grass color is something else. And I think when you tried to do it, you probably made the grass this match the floor, and it was way too green. It was fluorescent green. And you
Yeah.
toned it down by doing it that way. It's fine. You may want to make that sat 3G, tone your floor down a little bit, make it match. Then you'll get a lot more depth and undulations of where you've got your grasses by having it match the sat. So,
And I'll tell this to everybody: don't be afraid to go out and look at other textures. There's so many resources out there between Quixel, what are some of the other ones? 3G something or anyway. But you can find all kinds of stuff that really helps here.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. If you are using nature manufacturer assets, their textures,
yeah,
their
that's right.
ground textures are very good.
I forgot about those. Yeah, I should look at those more often. I tend to.
I use those all the time. They're so good.
And another thing is people like they think, oh, 3D grass, it's a performance killer. Density is a performance killer. Length is not. Okay.
Length does the trick.
Yeah, here we go with the length again. You did it that time, you.
And we'll go on. Hit play. Go to the next slide.
It's number 2 there. Okie dokie.
And the theme for the last 3 weeks has been billboards, billboards, billboards. Enough said.
The problem, guys, everything is like VS Pro. They make your billboards, but VS Pro does not do anything about the coloring of it. It just picks something, and you got to fix it yourself.
Yep. Agreed. And y'all know by now, after 8 episodes, the one thing that I love is to be surprised and wowed in all custom assets. I love it. The assets that he put into this course, all around the course, and I grabbed a bunch of them to look at here, are great. I want this house. I don't know what asset this is, but I need to get this house from you.
I want that pool.
I like the pool with it. Like the whole thing is fantastic. And that's right off of one of the holes. I love the trees, the way they match. The behind the house, it looks fantastic.
Let us know where you got that, because golf courses always have nice houses, and it's always one to have another one in my pocket to use.
Yep, agreed. Thank you for putting La Quinta in. There's always one of these courses always has a La Quinta off to the side.
That looks like a Holiday Inn to me. I'm just saying.
Might be a Holiday Inn, yeah. So I think it's another great custom ass. I found myself wanting to fly around the course looking for all the little things that he put in. Everything from custom tee box and everything, and then a custom clubhouse. And he's stuck in the people, which are the human heights that we use to figure out how tall things are. He just grabbed the ones from Justin that are dressed and stuff. I think it's fantastic. I love
it when guys have like the time and the energy to do stuff like this. Thank you.
I hope that when he was placing these people, he was just drinking a bourbon and laughing.
What's up with the stakes, though? What are those stakes? Is this a practice screen?
That's the practice screen right in front, and those are the holes. Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Really great job. Really fun course to play.
I think those are my arborvitaes that I made in M Tree.
They might be.
Thank you for using those. Awesome. Love it. Fisher's Island.
Right.
Mr. Tekbud.
Fisher's Island. This is a Tekbud. This came out today.
He always puts a description, and I'm surprised he has no slopes and ratings. He's usually pretty good about that stuff. Surprised.
Yeah, I will tell you, Tech and I were going back and forth today a little bit. There is a very fast B2 coming in, and I'm assuming all that will get addressed. So
okay.
Yeah, normally, but great course, really great course. Tech does, there are designers that you just know are gonna. You got Pakman, you got Tekbud, you got Run Putt Run. Those guys, Rusty, Dave, you guys are always releasing the top of the top courses, and Tech, whenever he launches a course,
Don't
it's been doing
forget
great.
yourself with your sexy voice.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Right? Thank you. Like he does such a great job blending his grasses. I think he manually plants everything. I don't think he uses biomes. If I remember our
No, he
conversation with him
uses
last time,
mesh terrains.
mesh trains, and he
Yeah.
uses and the prefab brush where he then touches up the mesh terrain with a
Yep.
prefab brush.
Yep.
Just a really, really good looking course, a really good looking hole. Let's go to the next one. There's some great screenshots.
There's
and
something
there's some
funky going on with advanced lighting though in fog. I'm not sure what it is.
I think advanced lighting has got some issue. We talked about that last time briefly, and I still do. Matter of fact, I just put a course into the beta server. I did not enable advanced lighting. As soon as I did, it jacked everything up. So I'm leaving it off.
Goofy there.
Yep. But like this course made me feel like I was out on. I'm assuming East Coast on the
Is that
by
where
the ocean.
I'm sorry, forgot to look at the look. Where is this? It's in
Fisher's Island. I have to look that up.
Hold on, it should be it is New York. I was going to
New
say
York.
I
Yeah,
had said
New
I was
York.
going to say it looks like the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, I was thinking, and it looks like it. I was thinking
And
the same thing, like northeast.
Two things make it look like one is like the dark gray
Yep.
with a little brown water, right?
Yep.
And just damn Tech, you got like almost like the surf rhythm right.
Yeah. Yeah. He did.
Good.
It felt like I was up on that. I was gonna say that area it's so good.
Like to me, I've never been to Hawaii, but to me the waves in Hawaii are like slow and rolling.
They're slow and big and
then the
rolling.
Jersey Shore, it's kind of like a little bit more like quicker and smaller,
shallower.
Right?
I think it has to do with the depth of the ocean versus.
Probably.
Yep, agreed.
And definitely not blue like they are in Hawaii either. Man, look at that. Cool.
I think this was the green on number 8, if I remember correctly. I took the GUI off, obviously, but like it's gorgeous. Like I felt like it was a chilly fall day on the green, and the wind is coming kind of towards me, and you look out over the ocean, and there's a lighthouse in the distance. And the thing that I was most impressed with is as you pan left and right, I could have taken 3 or 4 screenshots. All the stuff keeps going. You go right, and there's more boats. You go left, there's more houses. Like it's not just a static shot. It's just a really well done, and the fog is perfect. Like the amount of fog he's got for the distance out there is perfect.
Yep.
I don't know what else to say. So let's talk briefly what this is. So this course,
I know
reason
what
why
it
I wanted to go
is.
into
I
it.
know what it is.
This course is a V4 course.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I showed here was there's been a lot of folks talking about V4 and V4. What do you do with that? But I want to show some examples. So what this is, and one of the things that V4 is going to allow us to do, all of us as designers, once they're released, is not have hard lines between the meshes.
See
if
my
you
mouse?
go back and look at
See
some
my
of the
mouse?
previous ones, you'll see them.
See
Right.
my mouse? See my mouse?
So what you'll see here is go to the right a little bit. You'll have the green. Then go to the left a little bit, and you'll have the semi-rough. And right in the middle between, you'll have a blend mesh. And that blend mesh is going to be a blend between the two. And look, all hard lines are gone. It is a seamless. They have done such a good job with these tools.
Now, some people will say, "Now, wait a minute. There's courses now that don't have those hard lines." Yes, you could be right, but that all has to be done with Sat Shader and requires a decent, a good amount of Photoshop work and experience. It takes a lot of time. So what this is going to do, and I hate using this term, lowering the bar. It's going to allow the mass of builders who come into GSPro and are building their first course, second course, third course to be able to do these blended lines without doing Sat Shader. Basically,
correct.
It's gonna lower the bar entry. I should lower the entry level for new builders, but raise the bar as far as the quality courses we're gonna see. Yep.
Exactly, and it will also lower your need to get super deep in Photoshop.
Yeah.
Like you'll still use Photoshop for certain things. And then here's example of a blend between the bunker and the rough. And it's seamless. It goes right from one to one without having that hard line. And it gives it a much more polished course, a much more polished look on your course.
Interesting is that we're going to have to do less Photoshop, but Blender is going to become more important.
Blender is going to become more important.
Yep.
Yep. Exactly. So that was what I wanted to show for tech.
Cool. So, who wants to go
You
first?
go first this time. I
Me?
always go first.
You do. You're right. You always go first. Um, I will have to say, after, and I think I changed my mind 3 times this week, that I would want to play Fisher's Island. Yes. Um, I feel not only was it a well done course, but it's just something that I want to play right now. It's more. I think right now for me, it's more of a mood thing. Um,
Okay. Fair.
and also I think about like what the guys when I load up my indoor golf for the guys on Thursday nights. We just
Yep.
played a bunch of desert courses because I like doing a lot of the blue potato stuff.
Yep.
And I'm ready
Yep.
for a little bit more of a cold weather ocean style course. So I think Fisher's Island would be on my list.
So you're gonna set a fan up in front of you and have a fan blowing into you while you're on the tee box
Fan
to fish.
with a little bit of moisture and chill to it. Yeah, because these guys,
guys with squirt bottles,
it's really
squirting
fun.
little.
And maybe I bet it's the weather here because it has gotten like warmer here in Pennsylvania. It's like 50s
Yeah.
now. Now it's
Yeah.
raining today, but we had like some colder weather in January, so I wanted to play some warmer weather courses. Now that it's warmer here, it's like let's play some, let's play
Play some
some
cool courses.
realistic golf.
Have you seen that YouTube video of the guys trying to? I'll send it to you if you haven't seen it. There are guys that are trying to turn sim golf into real golf, and so he has a
No.
bush. And so when his ball is behind a bush, one of his buddies has a bush in a pot, and he holds it in front of the shot, and he's got to hit around the bush. And when he's in a bunker, they pull in a baby bathtub, a pool full of
Yeah.
sand, and they set the ball in there. They got to hit it out of that, and then when he's in the water, they spray water on him when he's trying to hit from the water. It's pretty good actually.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So I had a hard choice on this one. I'm also going to go with Fisher's Island on this one. For actually almost the same reason. I want to be sitting on the first tee with the wind whipping into me. I can vision I've got my jacket on because it's kind of that time of year. It's fall. It's but I want to give a really good, strong, and because the polishness of the course, every aspect is just good. I want to give an honorable mention though to St. Ives because it's a fun course. It is a ton of fun to play, and it was neck and neck for me between the two. I think the polishedness of Fisher's puts it ahead, but the playability of St. Ives for me was probably even a little better.
On the same note, I have to give a shout to Auburn because I
Yeah.
actually played it. I haven't actually played. I looked at Fisher's like mousing around on my design PC. I didn't play it.
Yeah.
I actually played Auburn. Had I just maybe moused around both, maybe I would have picked Auburn just because of the length and what I want out of a course personally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a tough pick this week. Definitely.
It was. There's a lot of good courses. I like it. I do think we see some continued trends. So designers, please check your billboards. It's pretty simple to do.
Yep.
Matter of fact, we're working on a checklist that we can provide folks to do before you submit your course to betas, and that'll be billboards. So we'll get that hopefully get that done soon. But check your billboards, check your SAT shader, check your SAT 3D. It's the same 3 or 4 things that we see in a lot of courses that are pretty easy to check before you launch.
Yep.
I will say the one thing I did notice, every course played great, like performance wise. I didn't have any courses that really pushed my GPU super hard. I didn't say.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Like when I made those tutorials, there were probably 5 or 6 points in the tutorial along the way where I tell people, don't forget to check your performance.
Yep.
Don't forget, do this. Oh, did you remember to do? And I think since I've done that, we've seen performance kind of better. There's still people who struggle. But yeah, no, I'm surprised we haven't seen more just hogs.
Right? We haven't. Yeah, it's been pretty good. Now I also think more and more people are upgrading hardware too. I mean, I'm on high end stuff too, so I should.
Yeah. Good point.
If I'm having performance issues on my setup, we have some big problems. All right, my friend. That's this week. We'll have to get together next week and do it again.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Sounds good to me.
Thank
you, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
See y'all later.
See ya. Bye-bye.